Good morning, sir. By the way, I'm Kyla Arika Sikisote. Today, I will going to report the program evaluation of Jose P. Revolution. The problem of limited of resources remains unresolved and holds serious implications for the future of many government programs. Within the context of knowing how the government could maximize its limited resources and attaining its planned goals, I developed a technique known as evaluation. Evaluation is an integral part of the administrative process. In the administrative process, important matters affecting the organization are considered. As two American authors point out, decisions are made about policies and plans. Programs embodying these decisions are implemented. The results achieved are evaluated, and then, based on this information, new decisions are made and the cycle is repeated. Moreover, evaluation may be considered as a method for determining how far an activity has progressed and how much further it should be carried to accomplish objectives. It is the comparison actual conditions with desirable conditions. As answer the question, to what extent are we doing what we are trying to do? Evaluation is also a process of systematic appraisal. As a process, it is used to determine the value, worth, or meaning of something. It may refer to a program, a method, an approach, or a situation. An evaluation of a program, for example, is called program evaluation. A program is the totality of activities of an organization which include the plans of the organization for its immediate operation as well as its future development. A project is a part of a program. According to Herbert H. Yaman and Charles R. Wright, put in this manner, also, often a program is simply a statement on paper of what the planners in an agency hope to do has never been fully translated into action by the full stop. Moreover, stressing the importance of a program evaluation, the two American authors says, since the crucial element in an administration is the effectiveness with which the mission of an organization is executed, program evaluation is essential. In program evaluation, the quickest question is, did the program achieve goals? To succeed in its purpose, evaluation should take place at various levels of organization. It should be placed within the organizational structure at a level consonant with a mission. During the last 2 decades, much progress has been made, and the reason for current interest in evaluation is, particularly in public administration, can be summarized as follows. Number one is the very great increase in public expenditures for social programs such as education, health, child development, crime control, drug abuse, and alcoholism, housing, manpower development and training, income maintenance, and community development. 2. The awareness that massive infusion of government does not guarantee solutions to deep-seated societal problems and that consequently better conceived and better administered programs are needed. 3 is evaluation is also being built into the administrative function because legislators are mandating it. 4. Realization is that programs can sometimes have unanticipated harmful effects not only on the beneficiaries but also on the larger society, has also contributed to pressures for evaluation to detect and enforce all such consequences. 5 is there is faith that more rational public policies can be developed and in general the atmosphere is not of complacency. Program evaluation is a major effort of public administration. On account of that role, it is essential that evaluation may be thorough, may studied and properly understood. Thus, the following subjects will be considered in this chapter. Usefulness of evaluation. Number 1, we have dimensions of evaluation. Number 2 is the principles of evaluation. 3 is the logical framework of evaluation. 4 is the relations between project designs and evaluation. 5 is the resources for evaluation. 6 is the relationship between research and evaluation. The usefulness of evaluation is of conducting evaluation is still being questioned. In the first place, there is the inevitable controversy over whether evaluation is necessary or not. Second, dispute may arise over the usefulness of evaluation. Implicit to the last question is another one. For several years now, many social scientists try to answer these questions by answering the last two questions. They are hoping that first question could also be answered properly. One of them is Emil G. McAnany, an associate professor of international communication at the University of Texas. In the past few years, there have been numerous users of evaluation. Also, it can be pointed out that there are several potential users of it. McAnany distinguishes three of them: the project itself, the sponsoring agency and the community of evaluators, and the end users or the clients of the project could be added to McAnany's list. Each one of them influences not only the conduct of the evaluation but also its design. As such, it calls for a kind of balancing to permit the evaluation to satisfy if not to resolve their personal and organizational problems. McAnany puts it succinctly: if we look closely at the kinds of evaluation that are carried out in the field, we find a variety of activities. And if we push a step beyond the studies themselves, we find a variety of purposes inspiring these efforts. Although the purposes do not always coincide perfectly with the actors, they are the most easily identified with them. Thus, project managers are interested in results that improve their enterprise. The sponsoring agency is most often concerned with generalizing the results for policy purposes, and the evaluator, while trying to serve other ends as well, it is concerned about what the research may contribute to the research and evaluation literature. Consequently, in evaluating a project, it is imperative to know what is really being evaluated and for whom it is being studied in simple and accurate terms. It is often said that evaluation is useful for project management. Besides, it may be argued that evaluation can address a number of aspects of a project. Thus, the literature speaks of planning, process, and impact evaluation, and identifying 3 points in time when evaluation may be undertaken. The terms formative and summative evaluation are used to emphasize the generic purposes of evaluate efforts, the former aimed at improving a project, the latter at providing information for summary judgment of it. This means that, in theory, all of the information gathered in evaluation could be useful to project managers. However, as McAnany sees it, theory may not reflect the real world. Useful evaluation in project management is increasingly important in the management of projects. Evaluation is carried out after a project is completed to determine what can be learned from its successes or failures to improve similar projects. Managements make use of it as guides on the project's progress and future development. However, an understanding of the needs for the project's progress report and of the role of the project manager himself can play a significant part in the usefulness of the evaluation effort. What about the project managers? Do they feel that the evaluation is doing the project any good? So, surprisingly, despite the importance of evaluation, it has been observed that many project managers are strongly opposed to it. As Makanani explains the situation, generally, evaluation have not been useful to the managers of the project in which they were performed. The reasons are many, but we might summarize them as follows. 1. There is no interested audience among managers, often because the evaluation is not designed to help the management but rather to serve the purposes of other actors, the sponsors or evaluators. The F2, the evaluation is seen by the managers as relevant, untimely, or not credible. The evaluation, for instance, may not be able to deliver an answer when it is most needed politically. 3. And the results are not communicated in a way that speaks to a manager's needs. The evaluator may write only in English or in social science, where these words or may not include a summary in a 400-page report. Because of the failure to understand project evaluation, it is regrettable that many project managers react emotionally to it. For them, it implied shortcoming in their own performance. Thus, they place themselves on the defensive during the evaluation. Periodic evaluation, while the project's own progress is more useful to the project manager than its evaluation after completion. There is no need to stress that evaluation advantages far outweigh its present shortcomings. Besides, evaluation needs not be useless to project managers, notwithstanding their defects. The appropriate course of action is to remedy such defects, and in fact, confidence in the government, where evaluation fails, the government also invariably fails. Makanani offers the following remedies to the effects of project evaluation. First, formative evaluation can be built into the system. For example, in the Nicaragua Regio Mathematics project, the gathering of feedback provides a constant guide for creating the remainder of the mathematics program for each grade. One question needs to be added. However, such formative evaluation will be built into the program, that is, will be used only when project managers genuinely understand the function of the feedback. Second is project managers. Managers can define their needs and hire someone to work with them to meet these needs. This may be a somewhat rare situation, exception, a crisis, or other time options, but these are often opportune times to do evaluation that can provide guidance to managers. A current example comes to mind. ALER, or Latin American Association of Educational REGIO, has 35 REGIO school groups in 19 countries. They are undertaking a major evaluation, the result of which aims specifically at helping them to rethink their goals, organizational structure, and financing. The likelihood of these results being used is higher because project managers themselves are participating in defining the study. Third, evaluation can prove useful to project managers to their political function. Project managers need information to keep their project funded and alive. The prestige of an outside evaluation, even if it is only vaguely positive, can often be quite useful to a manager in securing support from financing agencies. Useful evaluation for policy making. During the past decade, many have recognized the value and importance of evaluation, particularly in their roles as policymakers. Success in this direction greatly redounds to the benefit not only of the project but also of the government. This augurs well for the new approach to project management. However, some administrators object to evaluation. The administrator is faced with the inconsistencies and contradictions and evaluation findings which are due to differences in the evaluator's approaches in the framing of hypotheses, in data gathering, in sampling, and in the presentation of findings. The administrator generally has a little time or patience for the qualifying statements which abound in evaluation report. They do not help him make clear-cut decisions. The administrator is often forced to take shortcuts to show immediate results, and this may prevent him from attaining long-term goals and from maintaining a healthy pace of attitudinal and behavioral change. Effective public administration system requires feedbacks in progress of its programs and projects. Again, McAnany says many international, bilateral, and even national agencies sponsor evaluation in order to see if pilot projects have worked, with the hope that the results may be generalized from a pilot to a regional or national scale. More significantly, there is a need for an active and dynamic participation of everyone in the effort to weather obstacles and to ensure the continuing success. Moreover, McAnany gives the following reason for such development. First, the evaluation may carefully evaluate the impact or outcomes of the pilot project, but tend to include few contextual factors that account for the project's success or failure in this particular setting. Even when such factors are recognized, they refer to such things as motivation, leadership, or organizational ability, which are hard to measure and replicate. Second is policy interest, shaped within funding agencies. By the time a carefully done evaluation is completed in 2, 3, or even 4 years, the agency may no longer be interested in the results. We have seen the shift from education to non-formal education to formally planning to heart that many international agencies have undergone. As a result, evaluation studies create problems. Moreover, McAnany says that the remedies for these problems are not simple, but in her words, it is possible to include in pilot project evaluation enough detail on context and process to generalize the results to another setting. In short, follow through the initial success. The nation's stability depends, to a great extent, upon the degree of public confidence on the performance of government, degree of public confidence on the performances of government personnel. Consequently, their performances are measured on how they carry out the objectives of government programs and projects. The responsibility of such a demand shows that public administrators should be careful enough to undertake projects that they know are well within their capability to perform satisfactorily. This may also indicate that the behavior of the people reflects the ethos of society or vice versa. McAnany suggests Evaluation could be focused on those types of projects that are more permanent and therefore less subject to the changing whims of funding agencies. By improving its dimension as well as its use for policymaking, the success of evaluation could be guaranteed by management. In fact, evaluation is the responsibility of management. However, its success depends on the people who were entrusted to do it for management. There must be a sustained effort to implement it. Firmness and determination to attain the desired goal are vital factors for success. Useful evaluation for science. But many are skeptical of evaluation as social science and of social science as science itself is nothing new. While it is true that the result of certain evaluation leave much to be desired for evaluation to be qualified as social science, the faults could not be placed entirely on it. Dimensions of evaluations. The dimensions of evaluation are broad. Evaluation is the management tool used to make appraisal or value judgments based on all types of data, both qualitative and quantitative. It looks at the total situation of what is being evaluated rather than just at its perspective part. As such, it is concerned with intangibles such as feelings, emotions, meanings, values, attitudes, interests, and purpose factors. Generally, evaluation embraces three fundamentally different types of assessment. First is the performance appraisal, which focuses on the individual and his personal achievements. The second is the management audit, which is concerned with effectiveness and economy in the use of resources, with special reference to efficiency and in conformance with applicable regulations. Third is the impact assessment, which focuses on the changes brought about as direct result of the project and on the contributions that the change make to broader development goals. All three kinds of evaluation are important. However, impact assessment poses the most challenging methodological problems. On the other hand, Walter Williams identified the three principal types of evaluation research is the overall assessment of program, impact, and effectiveness to determine the extent to which programs are successful in achieving basic objectives. Second is the evaluation of the relative effectiveness of different program strategies and variables to establish which of the alternative methods of carrying out the program are most productive. Evaluation of individual projects to assess managerial and operational efficiency. Consequently, the primary aim of evaluation is to obtain information that can be used in improving the present operations based on past experiences. Moreover, evaluation should not be utilized to grade the individual performances of people in the organization, but rather the totality of their efforts in attaining the organizational goals. These are essentially three basic factors which influence the effectiveness of an evaluation. They are: first is a clear goal, second is about analysis of present position in relation to the goal, third is the goal, third is the position at some past time. By comparing the past condition with the present in relation to the goal, one can tell how it's getting along. According to Orville F. Holland, the three root causes of evaluation difficulties are the following. First is the lack of definition. The problem addresses program intervention or the expected impact on the overall society or on The problem addressed are not sufficiently well defined to be measurable. Two is the lack of clear logic. The logic of assumption linking expenditure of resources, the implementation of a program intervention, the immediate outcome to be caused by that intervention, and the resulting impact are not specified or understood clearly to permit testing them. Third is the lack of management. Those in charge of the program lack the motivation, understanding, ability, or authority to act on evaluation measurements and comparisons of actual intervention activity, actual outcomes, and actual impact. Principles of evaluation. Whatever evaluation intends to attain, certain principles must be followed. To be effective, it must be conducted in accordance with the purposes, objectives, and goals of the activity being evaluated. Principles of evaluation could be summarized as follows. One is evaluation must be considered in terms of purposes, and this simply means that an evaluator must know his goals. 2. Evaluation must be cooperative. An evaluation conducted by an individual is only a little better than no evaluation at all. Evaluation must be continuous. To establish a sound basis for an improvement program, evaluation must be a continuous process, although its form, focus, and emphasis may shift. Evaluation must be specific. People affected by and or involved in the activities as well as in their operations must know what is being done well, what might be done better, and how improvement can be made. 5. Evaluation must provide the means and focus for the change agents to appraise themselves of their practices and outputs. Probably the most convincing evaluator is the change agent himself. Evaluation must be based on uniform, objective methods and standards. Preliminary to effective evaluation is the establishment of standards and criteria which must be acceptable, readily applied, and observable in results and or in the process of evaluation. You will also have different conclusions. Such situations make it difficult, if not impossible, to plan and implement a workable evaluation of the program. Logical framework of evaluation. A framework for evaluation studies is important. The logical framework methodology is primarily solution-oriented. It assumes that the development problem has been identified and assigned a priority within the National Development Plan. The logical framework is based on the following hypothesis. First is the total resources applied to a project will be sufficient to produce specified outputs by specified dates. The production of specified outputs by specified dates will bring about achievement of the project's purposes. Third is the achievement of project purposes, together with other achievements which lie outside the project will bring about the attainment of an important national development goals. The major aims of a program evaluation are to assess the following. Efficiency evaluates the management of resources and the relationship between results and costs. It asks whether the same outputs might not be achieved more cheaply or whether more outputs might not be achieved more cheaply. Effectiveness measures whether the targets are being achieved, whether it is yielding its intended outputs. Significance assess assesses the degree to which the outputs of a project contribute to the host country's development or to other broad goals and the extent of their impact. We have the relations between project design and evaluation. I used publication explained in this way. Because of these close conceptual links between project design and evaluation, those who formulate and plan a project have to shape at letters evaluations. If the designers forecast probable outputs and changes in societal conditions which the project is likely to achieve, the evaluation should be generally favorable provided that implementation proceeds reasonably well. Resources of evaluation. For the conduct of evaluation, it requires resources. However, the resources should be within the framework of the project being undertaken. For example, the time of the project staff is always required. Most evaluation, as shown by experience, requires funds for travel costs not only of the evaluators but also of various participants to the project. Some evaluation, in fact, requires the financing of special studies to generate background information for the project managers as well as for the evaluators. Relationship between research and evaluation. Evaluation and research, too closely related, have different emphases. The two are interrelated. Evaluation often identifies factors and estimates the relations to the results observed, and research requires that the change be measured. Now, consider research and evaluation as both ways of using the scientific method to improve practice. By this, research is a somewhat broader term. Evaluation itself is concerned with the use of procedures and tools of assessment. Evaluation is a management responsibility. It is a managerial technique designed to maximize the use of the organization's limited resources in the attainment of its planned goals. The dimensions of evaluation are broad. Evaluation is the management tool used to make appraisals or value judgment based on all types of data, both qualitative and quantitative. No matter what purposes evaluation intends to meet, certain principles must be followed. A framework for evaluation is important. For the conduct of evaluation, it requires resources. However, the resources to be provided should be within the framework of the project being undertaken. Evaluation and research are closely related, but have, however, different emphasis. We have the references. As you can see, Felix and Negro and Luigi Negro was the modern public administration in New York. Harper and Row Publishers Incorporated, 1980. Paul H. Ross, Clarence D. Jane, and Ralph D. Spencer, Adult Education, the New York, the Trident Press in 1954. Committee on Evaluation, Program Evaluation in Adult Education in the Washington, D.C. Adult Education Association of the United States of America in 1952. Edward H. Suchman, Evaluation Research Principles and Practice in Public Service and Social Actions Programs. In New York, Russell Sage Foundation in 1976. That's all my report of the program evaluation of Jose Peliveriza, and thank you for watching. Bye. And by the way, I'm Kala Erika Sikisote, and that's all for today.